Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
All right, here we go. We are back. This is Stay to the Point Radio on WFBS 98.1. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Stay to the Point Radio. ST, the number 82DAPIONT Radio. Make sure you follow us, all right? So you could constantly see updates, content, all of the above. And you get to see Sherry's face and our two ugly bugs. So, especially for you. So as we move on, we're going to get into this black business conversation. I think it's a perfect time to talk about it. Fue, you want to do a rundown on it real quick?
Yeah, I was just thinking about it because I always hear, and I'm sure you guys always hear that well, I'll first start. What sparked me thinking about this was when in China, when they didn't allow the certain black people or black people to go into that McDonald's. And then I had a lot of people on my pages and stuff say, that we need to boycott and we need to support black businesses because they don't support us. They don't never support our black businesses. So the question that I really had was, what is a black business when you say that or when y'all hear it? What do you think of? And really to y'all, what is a black? And I'm genuinely asking the question. There's no ulterior motives, Hiawatha. There's nothing. I'm joking, but there's nothing that I'm like. I really genuinely want to know what everybody's opinion on what makes a black business. Like what does that mean?
Sure, I'm gonna throw you in there. You go first. I'm gonna piggyback off your ass this time. Okay.
Me.
I'm gonna shut down. I'm gonna close this garage door real quick because it's getting too loud. So I'm gonna have to let you take control real quick.
He threw that on you like that.
Right.
Yeah, do it. Hot spot. Don't be scared.
Well, I mean, what makes a black business?
Like, what is a black business? You know what I mean?
I mean,
Like,
traditionally, like you mean like black owned business?
Yeah, that's what I mean, like a black owned business. When somebody says, they don't support black businesses, black owned businesses. Let me say, because I asked somebody else a
I
question.
mean, Wingstop is a black owned business, but every time I walk in there, it's nothing but white people working.
so what makes it? So the reason I'm asking that because I asked somebody else and they were like, well, what do you mean by? I said, well, my thing is that is it a black business because it was created by black people, and then it came up like that, or is it a black business because I own a franchise of McDonald's? So that McDonald's on 6th Street is a black business, or BET.
Or
that was created
BET,
by black
okay,
people.
because you was about to say what I, yeah.
Yeah. But it's not owned by black people.
But it's not
anymore.
owned
So
by
is that
black
still
people,
considered a black
right?
business? You see what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
like, what is a black business? That's the first part of my question, and this scenario. So I wanted to see to y'all, what does that mean when you hear that?
I mean, when I hear black owned business, I'm thinking it's a black owner or it's not necessarily in a black community, but it's owned by a black person, primarily staffed by black people, and they probably are giving back to the black community. I think that to me is a successful black owned business. Not to say that they only have to hire black people, but I think like if you're trying to change your community, I feel like you're going to try to change the narrative. You're trying to employ black people. You're trying to give black people opportunities that no other person is going to give them. You know what I'm saying? I think to me, that's a successful black owned business. And you're feeding, but you're trying to change your community. You're giving back and stuff, and not like some black people, not all, but some who say, "Oh, I made it, I'm out." You know what I'm saying? I think that's the problem too. That's part of the problem. Like, that's what's that saying? Be the change you want to see. You know, if you have the platform to do it, why not?
Mm-hmm.
I think people use. I don't know why people use black-owned businesses as a slogan. Because that's all it is. It's a promo to get black people to come in and support.
I don't think it's a promo. I'm gonna tell you why, because I'm really passionate about this, and I don't think it's a promo. I think it's necessary, and I think it's necessary that Black people start spending their money in
Black people.
Black businesses, and I say that because we are like the number one consumer in this country, and our numbers are not as great when you think the white people are 67% of the United States is considered Caucasian versus 13 or 15% or something like that. Don't quote me on that, but it's something low like that for Black Americans. You know what I'm saying? So when we're the number one consumer, that should tell you how matter of fact, I think, no, that was something else. There was something about Jordans. Maybe it was was it? I don't know. I didn't watch a couple of things this week, but same thing. Like when Black people want to feel important, we buy expensive shit. Like it is what it is.
Right.
Like to fit in or whatever you want to call it, we do. And for that reason, we are the number one consumer in the world. For whatever reason, you can take it back to slavery times. We feel like we have to have everything.
Right.
And the crazy thing is that we don't own a lot of land, but we own a lot of stuff that holds no real value, no lasting value.
Correct.
So that's why I say, I would love to see more Black people opening businesses, starting businesses. I would like to see more Black people, feed into those companies. Like recently, I started becoming a brand ambassador on Instagram. I will only be a brand ambassador for Black-owned businesses at this time because I just feel like that those are the companies that I kind of want to, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I want to see grow. I think a lot of times, I don't know, it's frustrating to me because people say Black-owned business and people are immediately, you say it's a promo, but so many people are turned off by that. So I don't know if it's a promo or if you're damning yourself by saying it's a Black-owned business.
No, this is what I'm saying. I feel like, yeah, you're right. In a sense that obviously it's good. You're supposed to put money back into your community. That's what it's supposed to be. You're supposed to build it up. Like, why would you go to somebody else's house and put money in somebody else's house when you have your own to put that money into? Like, and that's the right way of doing things. It's recycling. You don't just give your money away. You recycle.
Well, that was one thing I loved about Harlem, not to cut you off, but like when I went to New York and I visited Harlem, I was just really impressed by all of the Black-owned businesses and how supported they were in that neighborhood. But I mean, it's not like that everywhere, but I did notice that there, like a lot.
Yeah. I mean, it's.
When did you? Was that recently or like you talking about back in like way back or recently?
No, it was like a year ago, a year and a half.
Okay, now I was asking that question for the reason that a lot of people they don't see that. You see what I'm saying? They don't see what you've seen, and I'm glad you've seen it. You know what I mean? That way. But go ahead.
But just to explain what I'm saying with the promo, I feel like why you can't just be a business. I mean, at the end of the day, it's great to see, a Black man obviously owning a business, a Black woman to obviously own a business. And when you out there and you showcasing yourself, they know that that's Black owned. You don't have to promote it to be Black owned. I think, and that's my only thing. Like, it's okay. Your business is going to speak for yourself. I don't feel like you need to put it into a category to say, hey, look, I'm Black and I own a business. Come support.
A question.
Yeah.
What's the difference between saying Black owned versus made in the USA?
Black owned, say it again. I'm sorry.
What's the difference between saying Black owned versus made in the USA? It's literally the same thing. You're just, because sometimes we're not conscious about where we get stuff from. Like some people won't buy stuff from overseas because you'll have car parts and all kinds of stuff that come over here with these tiny little footprints on. You know what I'm saying? So that's my question for you. what's the difference between saying Black-owned business and made in the USA? What's
There's
the
no
difference?
difference. There's no difference.
So you don't think that people that have companies that have their products are made here in the USA, they should not be proud that their products are made in the USA?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying why you can't just be a tire place.
Because
Like for
that's not the
example,
world we live in. And there's some people who want to know where their stuff comes from.
right. And if that's the case, you have a bio for that. You could go to my website, check it out, and you see where it's coming from. At the end of the day, you don't have to use it as a promo. If you coming to buy the best tires, and I have a tire shop, and I don't, it's gonna showcase itself. I'm going to showcase my shop. I'm gonna say, look, I got the best tires in the world. This, that, and the third. You have that question for me, I'm gonna have that answer for you. I don't need to use that as a stamp to say, hey, it's made in USA, by the way. It's going to, the product and the quality of my tire is gonna showcase itself. I just feel like my name is more important than anything else where it's coming from. That's all I'm saying.
No doubt. And I understand what both of you are. I feel like I'm in the middle. Because at first I'm like, I feel like a tennis ball because like you'll hit it and I'm like, okay, cool. But then I'll go over here. So I'm like, I feel what both of you guys are saying because I think all of us have been dealing with, at least for these years, dealing with some aspect of marketing, promotion, brand management, things of that nature. So my take on it is I'm saying made in USA because I want those, that's my demographic, or at least part of it. I'm trying to bring that in. So if I'm trying to bring in black people to my organization, then yeah, I'm gonna say that. So that I can bring them in. If my goal is to bring everybody in, then I might say, because I've been there where I was like, yo, this is this or this, you know what I mean? And I might change that. I'm not saying I will, but I'm saying I might think about, do I need to really put that on Front Street like that, or can I have that in the background? Like you mentioned, like Sherry mentioned, like on the tag, or like on my tag. If I look at my underwear, it might say made in China, or it might say made in the U.S. So if I say black owned or made by whatever, then there's no problem. Either way, it's the same in that sense. Putting it on my. Go ahead, Sherry.
No, I'm sorry, but I also feel like people saying black owned is a distinguish, like you're trying to distinguish yourself separately because we've had to basically create our own culture because it was basically stolen from us. So that's why black precedes so much that we do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you straight up, this is because this leads into my other question, right? It's not really a question, but kind of like a statement, but up for discussion. So we just said black owned, and we all stated, kind of what we think about that. My other side to it is that what I hear also is so-and-so culture, white people, Asians, Hispanics, whatever, they don't support my business because my black owned business. And the reason being is the same, and it's funny because it's kind of I'm kind of comparing apples to oranges when I say this, but like the NAACP routinely is a lot because of the injustice with black people in this country. So I had a lot of people going through stuff when it came to the Middle Eastern and Asian people that were going through hell in the DC area, but they didn't feel they can go to the NAACP because that's for black Americans, that's for black people. So the same thing if I'm putting on saying black owned, that might detour people. That's for them. It's an ignorant mentality. Yes, I'm not saying it is, but that's for them. You know what I mean? That's not for me if I say that. So then a lot of people will ask that question, why? So I could see that. But my other side of it is that when they say people don't support, my question before I give you my statement, my question to you guys are, why do you think that black businesses are not supported by other cultures?
Okay, two things. Why black businesses aren't supported by other cultures and by black people too.
I was gonna say it, but go ahead. Yeah.
But before I get into that, the other thing is like I have found myself as a consumer. For instance, I'll use the platform Etsy, right? It's a bunch of individual people, their business is white, black, Spanish, whatever, right? You don't never know really unless they have a picture of themselves or whatever. So, you know, I typically buy my t-shirts and stuff off of Etsy or whatever. And there was this, what was it? During Black History Month, I think I bought a new t-shirt that was like, what the heck does that t-shirt say? Anyway, it's something about Black History Month is not just 1 month or something like that, whatever, right? And long story short, the owner of that store is white. And I had ended up messaging her because I had a problem with the fact that all of her models were white wearing those t-shirts.
That makes no sense. But go ahead.
No.
Yeah.
So, you know, I sent her a nice little message or whatever. She did email me back apologizing. And I said, you know, I don't have a problem with you representing a culture that obviously you do not understand. But if you're going to sell t-shirts to us, because ain't no white person buying that t-shirt. So if you're going to sell t-shirts to us, you can at least have the models look like us. And she apologized to me. Like, I think that a lot of times that we don't feel like we have a voice, and we're scared to have a voice, or we're scared to, because you don't want to feel like, you know, like as a woman, a Black woman, you get called angry, aggressive, all this other stuff. I could say the same thing that a white woman says, but it comes off differently from me. Now, back to what you were saying about why people don't support Black businesses. What my experiences with Black businesses, not all, but some. A lot of times the customer service is really, really bad. Like when I say really, really bad, I mean really, really bad. A lot of times there's no professionalism, and I have a problem with that. I had recently purchased a wig, like from this Black guy in California. The wig was really, really nice wig or whatever. But, you know, supporting Black businesses, you know, I call myself supporting Black businesses instead of ordering it from some random person that I don't know.
You went mute. You went mute. You went mute.
You're on mute.
Oh, okay. Could you hear me? Did you hear most of what I'm saying?
Yeah. I heard most of it.
Oh, it just happened. Okay. It took me like 3+ weeks to get it. Oh, it's coming. It's in the mail. Never got a tracking number or nothing. Like I had to end up sending something into Better Business Bureau and all this other stuff, calling them back and forth. It was a nightmare. And I shouldn't have had to go through all of that for no hair. Okay.
Right.
And it's just crazy. But like I said, that's just one experience, but there's been many. You know, whether it's a restaurant or whatever, it's like you always get bad service. And I'm not gonna say always, because there's been times I've had good service, but for the most part, it's always really, really bad service. And I make it a point to support Black businesses. I really do. And it's disappointing to me when I see somebody with the opportunity to take their business from one level to the next. I just have the ability to look at somebody's business and see its potential. And I get so upset when I see somebody with a good business concept, with a good business, and then they just have the worst customer service ever. And I see that a lot with Black-owned businesses. A lot of times it's like they think that they've hit their pinnacle of success because they were able to open their business. Okay, well, you have to cultivate this into something else. And in order to do that, you've got to have good customer service and good customer care and all that other stuff. And it's like they just don't want to learn that. You know, it might have not been taught to you. I will give you that. But if you're going to run a business, then it is your business to learn that.
With me, I think it's consistency. I think a lot of times when it comes down to businesses, I mean, when it comes down to how many people want to be rappers? I like a lot of people like just doing music, just putting the product together. The consistency is not there. It's constantly like a excuse, or you telling me your plans, but you don't go with it. You so excited one day, and now you down and out. Oh, I don't feel like doing it today. I'm too tired. So it's just a constant lack of passion, consistency. Those things is what turns me off. And that turns me off at anything that you're doing. Like when I listen to you, I'm listening to like the way you breathe, the way you talk, the way your tone is. If you're not excited for what you want to do, if it's selling t-shirts or doing music, why should I be excited to purchase it? Why should I be hyped or can't wait to hear it or feel it or wear it, whatever it is? Like if you're not consistent or not even excited about your own product. So that's what I have a problem when it comes down to Black businesses. It's just the inconsistency. And that kind of piggybacks off of what Sherry was saying with customer service. It's the same damn thing. Like you're not consistent. You could be good one day and then the next day you're just horrible in every way possible because you don't feel like working just as hard.
And the crazy thing is, and it's not the product. Like I said, sometimes I see the potential in stuff, but it just turns you off.
Correct.
But you just expect me to just come in here and spend my money. And I'm not just like that with Black businesses. I turn away from a regular store or restaurant too if I'm getting bad customer service. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But like I said, since we're talking about Black-owned businesses, I do see that as an issue a lot of times.
So that's I feel what y'all feel because I feel the same way. And you guys can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if I pulled. Did I
stall
out on y'all?
You did froze, but it's all right. I can hear you.
I can hear you now.
I can hear you.
Let's try something different. I think I might have. Hold on.
All right. So I'm gonna continue
to. Now I'm sorry. You can hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
My bad, because I was hearing me. I ain't hear y'all, so y'all good. Okay, real quick. I was saying I can understand what both of you guys are saying, and I agree, because if bad customer service, like it's just I can't do it. Regardless of where, I don't care how you look or whatever. You know what I mean? I try to support. I'm more on minority owned. Now, mind you, I'll support anybody that's a mom and pop. Maybe I should rephrase that. Mom and pops. So my local bodegas and my local Jewish sandwich spot, whatever. I'm gonna support my neighborhood people, regardless of what color you are. At the same time, I do want to see more of my people, raise up. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is that, like, I have a theory now. We should have brought somebody else that's non-Black to actually talk a little bit about what they think. And I think that's a poll question that we should do on the social media, because my thing is I took a step back because I'm hearing, well, the Asians don't come in to support us and our businesses. And I started thinking about what Black-owned businesses do I know. I'm not talking about the franchise McDonald's or even people don't realize Rally's was ran by Black people. You know what I'm saying? Like that was, people don't realize Rally's, Checkers, all of that. But outside of those major, I'm speaking about the Woo Wear store. You know what I'm saying? Those stores, those little stores that we know, those urban stores. And then I thought about it and I said, well, what do Chinese sell in their stores? Their restaurants usually. Well, they know that us as Black people and Americans, we like shrimp, egg foo young. We like sweet and sour chicken. We like General Tso. Everything that I like. I'm gonna say I don't know if y'all like it, but I like it. We like chicken fried rice, all of that stuff. So what are we selling in our stores that they like? Do we think about that? Do we think about what are we selling that they might like? Now, I'm not saying if you got an auto shop, because that's auto. Advanced Auto or Sire's Auto. To me, is the same. It's just about the work and the customer service.
I just got one question. This is kind of a little left field, but it's not, because it has to do with Chinese restaurants. Why when you order, no matter how much you order, it's always 7 minutes? Don't y'all notice that? It's always 7 minutes.
It's not 27. They're lying.
You could order pork fried rice, chicken, sesame chicken, rice, this, that, and the third. Okay, 7 minutes.
Before we get off track.
No, we're going to get back.
No, I'm going to forget this, because piggybacking on what you said, because you really took it left, right?
All the way out.
Before we get off track, let me bring it back, okay? Because what you were saying about, them know. And the thing about it is there's a lot of companies. I'll use Popeyes as an example.
Yeah.
You don't never see white people in a Popeyes commercial. But Popeyes is not
Never.
owned by black people.
They all
So what they do, right, is they know that black people like fried chicken. They know we like
Marketing.
Popeyes, right? And so to
Yes.
market, they use us to market. And for whatever reason, we don't do the same. And I guess like, and you wonder why, like, for instance, like, say Chinese people don't buy from black people, right? Yet they move into our neighborhoods and put all their little Chinese little restaurants and stuff up, and
hair salon.
or the hair stores and this and that. Okay, this is what I'm saying. Why don't, when we open up businesses, don't we try to take over? Because there's this one, I live in Greenville, which is like 70% white, the city of Greenville. And there's this white man that just opened this mega beauty supplier store, okay? He's behind the doors, but he white, and it is doing really well in business. Why black people can't do the same thing? It's not owned by Asians. He got Asians working in there, but he's the money person. And the only reason I know that is because when they first opened, I just so happened to catch him in there, and he was telling me how he just opened this, him and his wife.
So I'm gonna give. I'm not gonna go left. I'm gonna go a little bit left, right? I'm just gonna pull Saya back, but I'm gonna say this. The reason they say 7 minutes for everything because they know that's what we want to hear. So that's it. We just forget about it when we get there, and it's 37 minutes, and we keep going. what you guys, based on what y'all saying or what you just said, Sherry, is that I don't, and I can't tell you that I have went that route because I've always wanted to keep my business small. Because once it gets bigger, it becomes something I don't want it to become, i.e. hip hop. You know what I'm saying? I don't want it. I just want it like at that level. This is just me. You know what I mean? But I'd never say if every like there's been majors that hit me up say, yo, you could join my my satellite radio. Well, this is the way we're going. Well, they have their viewpoint. I'm like, nope, sticking to Fuego Beats, sticking to this. Now, if y'all want to do whatever, I'll support anything y'all do. You know what I'm saying? But just this is my theory or my mindset. So with that being said, I personally agree with what you just said, Sherry, and I have that question too. So I don't personally have experience going and saying, you know what, I'm gonna put this store inside of an Asian or a white or Latino community. I don't know that like specifically. But what I do know is that I've been behind the scenes a lot of times. And like you said, I remember working at Blockbuster. And they had all of us in the room. It was my man Renee, Mexican, myself, my boy Justin, and then we had this. He was from Pakistan. He was more preppy, and we had these two white girls. Well, they put us and say, yo, I'm gonna send you and Renee because there's a Latino and a black community down over here on Route 1. We're gonna put y'all there. We're gonna put them and some of everybody, like not everybody, but some people got offended, like, yo, that's racist. I said, no, that's business. Because they know that when they see me in that particular area, they see Renee speaking Spanish, and that's basically their peer. People gonna come in and they're gonna want to ask questions and things like that. They feel like that's where it's at. So like you said with the marketing, they're saying, well, I hate to say it, but black people like Popeyes. Well, they like fried chicken. We're gonna throw all black people in there. Because
how many people have asked the question if that black lady on the Popeyes chicken was actually the owner of that restaurant?
That's the black lady. Yo, my in-laws even said something like that before to my wife, and we were like, yeah, I think they were joking. I hope, but we were like, yo, but that's the key that they do that, and I mean that's business right there. There's no real. I mean, it's probably underlying racism if you really go back, but I don't think that's not like what we're talking. That.
I got a question. Would you? All right, that black lady on Popeyes, right? She obviously gets a nice check, right? Would you call her a sellout?
I wouldn't say she in business. I wouldn't call her a sell. I wouldn't call her a sellout.
It's not black owned, but she damn near could act like she was.
But see, I guess the way I feel is that I know all commercials are mini shows or movies. They're all acting. So do I believe? Because if you pay attention to the show, when I say that, you have a commercial that you audition. If you audition for something, that's acting.
Correct.
Right? It's not real. So all these people, I've seen people on TV. My credit score has said, I said, I just saw you in that movie last night. But you so much, because I watched them Z-rated movies.
But that's different. That has to do with them personally. That has to do with them personally. All right. My credit score is 800. That's me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not a community. That's not black people. That's not, you know.
I'm trying to get at. I'm talking about commercials. I'm saying the commercial is not real.
Right.
The commercial is not more. I cannot. I'm not saying every last one, but that's the way I take it. That every commercial is not real. Most of the people, like you talking about now, we know how physically fit LeBron James is. How much Sprite do you think he drinks? Do you really believe he drinks all that Sprite? Like, really, that's it? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying, do you really believe he drinks all of that Sprite? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm trying to get at. Now, do I believe Nas drinks Hennessy? Yeah. I could be wrong. But that's what I'm trying to say. Now that might be real.
But no, but he has a percentage. He owns a percentage of that. So there's a difference on that.
He definitely does. But my question goes back to, like I said, why don't they support? And I'm like, well, why don't we try the ones that are like Sherry said? Why don't we try to do that? I do think there will be some blockage depending on the situation, because sometimes there is racism. They see us coming in. They're like, man, what you doing? You're bringing our neighborhood down because now there's black people coming in. Like, that could be part of why we haven't went inside of a white neighborhood or anything like that, because we had that trouble just in Tyson's Corner area when we were trying to put bus stops in and buses, and they like the element and looked me up and down. I was like, well, what you mean? And I backed them in the corner till they basically said what we knew they were thinking. And that's the thing. You know what I mean? And so I think it's a mix, but I would love to have somebody on, to discuss that with us that has maybe tried to do that. There's people that, well, like we mentioned last week, the CARES Act stuff and all, and they said, well, they're not giving us a chance because they shut us down. They said, I don't qualify. And I'm asking them, did you put on your application that you was a black-owned business? Because if you didn't, and unless, I mean, I get it if you have minority-owned, like if you have that, but minority can mean women. So if you didn't put black-owned business on there, how can you determine that it's because your race that they shut you down? If you didn't go in person or nothing, you just put your information in. But that's for something else. That's on another subject. But I do think that we need to start marketing better and doing. We see the blueprint. Follow the blueprint. Play this game like this life, like it's chess. Like, understand, like it's strategy, and that's a strategy. If I want to bring in everybody if I want to bring in females, that's not why we got Sherry. Of course, Sherry is dope. That's why. And I'll
tell you right off back. I'll tell you. No. Hold on. We could get into it. For example, Sherry is the icing on the cake, right? Her and Sandra are the icing on the cake, because why is the fact that they are very knowledgeable and very smart women. But the fact that they are beautiful, it enhances it just as much.
Guys are gonna come in just to look.
Guys are gonna come in to check out the podcast, because if I could, I would put Sherry and Chandra on every goddamn poster, every outlet, to where, because one thing about women, me and Fuego talked about, one thing about women is women would tell another woman, oh my God, you amazingly beautiful. Girl, you doing it. Your hair is magnificent. That dress is killing it. Your heels is on point, right?
But if I say Saya, yo, that W on your chest, the way it swirls and goes over,
bro, and you light skin, and you light skin, it goes with you nicely, bro. It'd be bad. And nobody want to see two dudes come together and just talk that talk, because dudes have an ego situation. Again, this goes back to another show. Oh, I could do the same thing they doing. Whatever. I don't want to hear them. I don't need to hear them, right? But if they see women, oh my God, yo, I gotta check this out. What they talking about? Are they talking sexy? Are they how their voice are? Is it low? Is it high? Is it squeaky? Whatever. They try to. It's that mysterious thing. And God forbid if freaking Sherry has some, like, she had a shortcut and had some, yo, it's a wrap. They be like this. Whatever you want. Whatever you want to see. Whatever you say, I agree.
But let me say the last part.
It
The
just
last
It's
part is
great.
the fact that y'all both, you can hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, I said the last part I feel is they both know they damn sports, and specifically basketball.
Hey, shit.
Therefore, that's like, oh my God, this is the perfect, right? But that's what I mean by marketing. Though. We thought about that. I'm not gonna lie, we
They
did think about that.
they know that
Now we
stuff.
could have got any old, but we couldn't find ones like Sherry and Chandra.
No.
Like you're not gonna find like everything. So, but that's a marketing thing. I feel that me and Saya, and I want because me and Saya agree on the same thing. We both from NY. We both have. How you like a show like that? We like,
Exactly.
yeah, you're right. Oh yeah, you're right too, man. You said it to
Exactly.
get like. I mean, come on. There's
We're the
no
same
opposition because we
We're the same
literally
people.
are thinking alike.
We're the same people.
So it's like, nah, I don't need to be on here. Like, I need to. My internet is messing up.
No, you good. You good.
But
No, you
anyway.
on point. You good.
Oh, okay. But that's what I'm saying. So like more of us, the advice that I'm trying to give out is for everybody that says, black, start taking a look at what you do before you say they don't support me because of this. We all know why. Sherry said it, Saya said it, I said it. What we have experienced, we think we know because we can't talk about another culture, but we assuming based on what I've heard is like if I'm sitting here like let's be real with the white people that we know that went to Tallwood. How many of them really bought Jordans and all of them and was into the urban? We have a few that we know. So if I open an urban store in the middle of, say, near Kempsville and Indian River, at that time, I'm not talking about now, it might be different, but at that time, how well would it do? How many of them would come in there? And I get mad because I'm like, there's no white people that come. That's not their thing. But I bet you if I had a store that had Vans, Banana Republic, stuff like that, it would attract them and some of the Filipinos and all. I'm not disrespecting or dissing them. I'm just saying that was their style over there.
Mm-hmm.
It would just that. So I
It's
would take
knowing your market, which is marketing 101. So that's pretty much it.
No, that's what I'm saying. Start really strategizing this thing and look back and see what y'all doing and say, am I really like now? If you're doing everything that we talked about, and you're literally you got the white people in the commercials, you got the this, you got the that, and then that happens, maybe you got an argument. Maybe you got an argument. Maybe you should really look deep and press people. But I just thought it was interesting because I started hearing this. And I was getting cursed out. I think I got banned from one of these African American like groups. I got banned because I guess apparently I'm not black enough. That's what I said. I gave them I didn't see what I agree with.
I don't know what that means.
I'm like that too. Yeah.
I don't know what that means either.
I have been called a Democrat like 100 times this week. I'm like, why I gotta be a Democrat? Why can't I just have an opinion?
Say that. You know what this dude? I told you this dude we went to school with. I won't call him because he's a good guy, but he said, "Yo, I bet you if you go down to the welfare, you'll be able to get such and such before I could." I said, "What in the hell are you talking about?" I tried because I wasn't making no bread when I first had started a family. And they didn't give me jack. What are you talking about? If they did, I would be balling right now. Trust me. I said, like a lot of people think that like certain ways. And then, like I said, if I go against our people, then I'm not black. And I'm, you one of those, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You Uncle Tom. And I'm like me. The guy that advocates for us all the time that I'm out there. When I'm like, yo, you came to the rap. Oh, no, I was, oh yeah, okay. Yeah, you didn't come, but yet I'm the one that's not, that's the Uncle Tom or whatever. I'm going to get mad now. So.
That's what I'm saying. I'm a huge advocate for, anything of Black culture. But right is right and wrong is wrong. And if something is wrong, I'm going to say, no, I don't really agree with that. And I hope that doesn't put me in the category of not being Black enough because I don't agree with everything.
All right, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and go into a commercial break, and we'll be back with, I'm guessing, The Last Dance, if we have time. Let's get into it. Be right back.
Yeah.
You are now tuning in to Stay to the Point Radio.